welcome to yet another fabulous show by Revolve Commercial. Today we're going to be talking all about the numbers. Now, I've said this a couple of times and I'll say it again. The most important thing when buying a commercial property is the numbers. By the end of the show, you're going to be learning all about the numbers. We're going to be talking about spreadsheets and how spreadsheets can help you. Now, if you've been listening to these in succession, you'll know that I spoke to the master of spreadsheets himself, Guy Wilson, in the previous show. And Guy was an absolute bomb when it came to spreadsheets and how to work spreadsheets, bearing in mind that he was back in the 80s. Guy's been doing this for many, many years, and he showed us some really fantastic little tricks. We're going to be sharing with you the easiest ways to work the numbers, and what everybody always wants to know is future projections. Some of the questions that our clients always ask us is, how do the numbers work? What is the easiest way to check your numbers and how to project your income? For those of you that don't know, my name is Mish Daniel. And I've been doing real estate for about 35 years and commercial for about 18 of those years. I've been the founder of many manufacturing companies while running real estate on the side from the age of around about 22. Why are we going to drill down on the numbers? Because it's all about the numbers. In commercial real estate, it is all about the numbers. Starting out with it's all about the numbers. And when you're buying a residential property, you're looking at area and structures. In commercial property, you're looking at all of that as well as the numbers and more. So the first thing you're wanting to be looking at and knowing how to do is, how do you calculate your yields? I'm going to be taking you through that and showing you and speaking to you about cap rates, about leases, income versus outcome, equity, budget, cash flow. What is equity? Equity is the cash that you have. What is budget? The budget is, with that equity, how much loan can you get that is going to give you the value of the property that you can purchase. And cash flow, what's in it for you? Most important. Cash on cash, so the cost of your cash that you're putting in, if you are putting a deposit in or any cash in. Your rental increases, how do you add value? Financial executive summaries, so when you're reading an IM, how to read that summary, inflation analyzers, interest rates, property tracking. Do you have a property tracker? Do you want to start one? Have you got a portfolio? A lot of you have got residential properties. Are you tracking those properties to see how they are faring year on year? And then, of course, a property summary. First things first, most important, when you're looking at a commercial property, the first thing you want to do is you want to have a look at what that yield is. Now, this is a little cheat sheet. I call it cheat sheet. All of my spreadsheets that we work on, they're just easy access, very quick, click a button and get an answer sort of thing. So there's an example. If you're looking at a property and you can see that the rental is $200,000, and you know that the cap rate is 6%, the value of that property should be 3.333 million. However, if you're wanting to buy that property at 7%, your asking price should be 2.857 million. You can play around with these numbers. You can drop in your own numbers there, of course. And we've got a reversal yield as well. So in other words, if the agent is giving you the value of the property and telling you that it should be around about a 6.5% cap rate, you immediately can drop that in and see, so the rental income should be around about 200,000. And sometimes they tell you that and you check the rental income and it's not, it's a 185,000 or something like that. So that tells you they're not on top of the numbers. You most definitely want to be on top of your numbers when speaking to agents and drilling down on everything that you're doing. The next thing we're going to have a look at is equity, budget, and cash flow. Now, I mentioned earlier, let's just keep it simple over here. Let's just say you've got 400,000 in equity. Now, let's just say that that is money that you've got lying around in a bank, okay? It's lazy money. And with that money, you can get a 70% LVR. which gives you a budget of 1.33 million. Now, at 1.33 million, you want it to be buying a property at around about 7%. And again, I'm kind of being a little bit futuristic here because I believe that we are going into a 7% market again. And your rental income should be 93,333. Your interest that you're going to be paying would probably be slightly higher than 4%, but I'm just going to stick it to 4% for ease sake right now. And all of these numbers you can change as you're working through these spreadsheets, our little cheat sheets. You've got your interest of 53,333, which means that the cash flow that you're putting into your pocket is 40,000. Once you've looked at a property and you've worked through it and you've decided, okay, the yield's okay, if I can get it at 7%, it's a great property. You want to be drilling down a little bit further. You're going to be looking at the numbers in your IM versus the numbers out of your lease. What period is the tenant in that lease? So in other words, let's say it's a 5-year lease and they are 2 years in. It means that they would have gone through one incremental increase. Has that been taken into consideration? Is it being reflected? What are the outgoings? Now, this spreadsheet that we have in front of us, again, it's information. So over here, we're looking at a property that is 3.5 million with a 70% LVR at an interest rate of 5%, management fees of 6%, fairly average. And you can put a couple of your acquisition costs in there as well. And your inputs, bearing in mind that on all of these sheets, your inputs are going to be in blue. So anywhere where you've got blue is where you're putting your inputs. And what it automatically does is it works out all the numbers for you. So it's going to give you the cap rate, the capitalized return on your investment, the cash flow, the cash on cash return. So if you're putting cash into this property, what it's going to be giving you, this one's not looking very good. Your rate per square meter, again, it's your input. Whatever you're putting in there, it's going to reflect into your rate per square meter. Your monthly repayments, mortgage, cash reserve required, and your debt recovery ratio. So everything is already worked out for you. All you need to do is just get your inputs right. And it's vitally important that you're getting those inputs from the lease. Another spreadsheet that we work with on an ongoing basis is increasing value. All right. And I've just put one of the spreadsheets in here, which reflects the value, your incremental increases. So if it's just a set and forget property, and you want to know what your incremental increases are going to be, let's say after 3 years or 5 years, you pop your price in there, you put your rent in there, you can change what your incremental increases are, whether it's CPI, but obviously you've got to put the number in, 5.2 or 3% or 4%, whatever it is. And this automatically grabs your rental, does the calculation of 900,000 and tells you that the value of your rent is going to be 30,900 in year 2. Now, if you've bought this property at 7.5%, it tells you that you now got a 7.7% property. And so it goes on in year 3, 4, 5. And let's say the lease ends in year 5, you're going to be up at 8.4%. Now, that tells you a couple of things. Do you want to keep the property? Is there going to be a rental review? Is the tenant staying on? Should you sell this property? If you're selling that property at 5% and you are earning 8.4%, very good deal. So there's quite a lot that you can be doing with this. And this is vital information just to keep as and when you're progressing the stages of owning your commercial property. Now, often I get asked about equity in one's home. And I thought, the easiest way to do this, I usually draw a graph. And I thought, well, numbers speak volumes. So let's just have a look at the numbers. Let's say you are borrowing or you have a deposit of 400,000 and you've got an LVR of 60%, which gives you a average property of $1 million. Your rental income is 70,000 at 7%. And I'm using the same figures right throughout just to make it simple. Your mortgage is futuristic, 5.8%. That means you're paying 34,800. and the cash flow you're getting out of that property is 35,200. So what we've done here is we have given you the great divide. So in other words, if you are sitting on $400,000 of cash sitting in the bank, okay, you got to understand that although it looks like you're making money, you're getting $14,000 per annum on that cash flow. In actual fact, you're nowhere close. All right, because what's happening is that's the interest that the bank's paying you. We're at inflation of 5.3% right now, and you're being taxed on whatever money you're getting from the bank, so whatever the bank's paying you. Now, bearing in mind, you cannot write this off because this is just sheer income coming into your account, which means that realistically, if you do the calculation, at the end of the day, the value of your cash after sitting there for 1 year is going to be $388,600, which means that you have just lost $11,400. Now, the reason why I'm doing this is because I want to show you that if you use that cash and you're putting it into a commercial property or a property that's giving you income, you're actually making money at 3 times the rate rather than losing money. And in the first instance, we're going to go over here where you're getting an LVR of 70%. Okay, you're getting an incremental increase of 4%, which is $2,800, which means that your rental of $70,000 that you were getting if you're using this money and buying a property is now gone up to $72,800. Now, not only have you made $2,800 for nothing, you have also, now you've got an asset, bricks and mortar, that has gone up from $1 million, revalued at 1.166 million. So the value that you're actually adding into your portfolio is immense. It's huge. Every single number, every single dollar makes a difference. So I'm going to drop down to year 5, where your rental has gone from 70,000 to 78,740. With your incremental increases, you're adding that on. You now got 81,890 and 10 cents. And the value of your property has gone up to 1.3 million, as opposed to if you are leaving your money in the bank and you're leaving it there for years and years thinking that you're getting a good interest rate out of it. After year 5, you've actually lost 53,842. So if you think that you're getting money from the bank, there is nothing for nothing. The bank is going to get their pound of flesh any which way. So have a good think about that. Have a good look at that. So if you've got money sitting around, lazy cash, use it or lose it. And it's a little bit like the old parables from the Bible of the talents. If you remember that, if you're a Bible person, where the brother who invested his talents got rewarded, the brother who didn't invest his talents got disciplined. And that's basically what's happening over here. Use what you have, make money out of it. I've actually done a little video quite some time ago that you might want to check out. The video was done a little while ago, but the principle's exactly the same. The numbers have changed and the yields have changed and the cap rates have changed a little bit. But the numbers and the principles are still very much the same. And I've put it into a spreadsheet just to show you how this could actually work for you. So a purchase price of, let's say, 800,000 and a loan at 65% is a loan that will give you 520,000. And if you've got a line of credit that you're using, so this is a fully loaned acquisition that you're going to be doing here. So your line of credit is 35, which is 280,000, which takes you up to that 800,000. You're putting a deposit in of 80,000, so you are loaning in total 720,000. Your stamp duty is around about 40,000, and your requirement is 240, which is being covered. I've put your interest rates of your loan at 4.2%. and your line of credit at 4.8%. Again, these numbers would have changed depending on where the market is. is going to determine how that number changes for you. But it's already in a spreadsheet. It's a little cheat sheet that we give to you when you come on as a client. If you're wanting to do this, when you're working out the numbers, you get access to all of this information. So the rental income on this property is $55,765. You're paying $35,280. You've got a cash flow of $20,485, which means that you are putting in your pocket $393.94 every single week. So that is your cash flow per annum. So there again, you are putting in your pocket $20,485 per annum. You're making that money work. And that's why I showed you in the previous spreadsheet, if you've got equity, if you've got a line of credit, work the numbers, and you could be earning money for nothing. And that's the bottom line. What happens is people loan money to the bank, and you loan that money from them. So they are paying a lower interest rate. So if you're loaning $400,000 to the bank, they're going to pay you a lower interest rate, but they're going to lend that money out for a higher interest rate. So they might pay you 3%, but they're going to lend that money out for 5.5. And it's in the 5.5, the difference of 2.5%, where they are actually making their money. Okay. So you could be using that and monetizing your portfolio. So these are just a couple of the spreadsheets. And like I said, we've got a multitude of spreadsheets. I'm not going to go through all of them, but this is just a little example of how we can help you. So if you're interested in the spreadsheets, reach out, contact us. If you can see the screen, click on the QR code, and you can go directly to Revolve Commercial. There's heaps of information on the website, free information. When you click on the Revolve Commercial team, or if you go to www.revolvecommercial.com.au, we're going to offer you what we call a Wealth Grow Plan. This is an 8-step system that is going to take you through a little journey. It's very quick, probably takes about a minute to click the yes, no answers. It gets you to a point where you can see whether you would qualify for a commercial property, or if you'd like to book a call with one of our strategists to help you move forward. We've also got on the website a VIP Investors Pick of the Month, which is roughly 20 of our top properties that we share with you. You need to be a member in order to get these properties. And these 20 properties are shortlisted out of probably about 100 properties that we look at every single month. This is gold, money for jam. There is a due diligence checklist that you can go and have a look at. Use the due diligence checklist when viewing a property. There are case studies that we've done so that we can show you how it's been done before, how to do uplift properties, add value. There's blogs, podcasts, past events, and replays. Go and learn, people. The more you learn, the better. You have the opportunity to book a 30-minute strategy call with one of our strategists to see whether you would qualify, or to get a strategy with myself, okay, where we would help you have a look at your portfolio, let you know what you need, what you're missing, what you need to move forward, and whether this would work out for you. So go to revolvecommercial.com.au and you'll get loads of free resources and free material. And just remember, my mission is I want to share as much information as I can with you, our listeners, who want to do the same as what I've done. So thank you for listening. Thank you for joining us. And we look forward to hearing from you and helping you on your journey to do the same.